To finish your project, we are going to use the following. In my school shop, you would be using lacquer because lacquer dries a little bit faster and actually is a more easier finish to put in. You could also use shellac. Now, shellac is an easy finish. It's alcohol based. This dries about 30 minutes. It's also a nice finish to use. But we're going to use polyurethane because polyurethane is a little bit harder, a little more dense. This will take a little bit longer to dry. But we're going to make a wiping polyurethane. Okay, it's called a wiping poly. And you're going to need two ingredients. You're going to need polyurethane in any grade. I tend to use the satin kind because I kind of like it a little flatter color. And you're going to need mineral spirit. So you're going to have to mix these together. And you're going to have to mix them in equal parts into a container. And then we're going to wipe it on. And it's probably going to be the easiest finish to put on in here because it's very cold and it's very quick. So we will put about maybe 3 coats on here today if we can. So we're going to try to show you how we mix this together. Polyurethane is a very, very hard finish. It's very durable and it will last a long, long time. And this is what we're going to be putting into our project. You're going to find that to make a wiping poly, we need to mix this equally, 50-50. So here I have a container that's I set up with 2 line marks here, one here and then one here for the poly and then the other for the mineral spirits. And you need to open up the polyurethane. You do not want to put bubbles into it. So we want to stir it up. So you want to stir the bottom first because all the ingredients are there. See? Now, if you just put polyurethane on your project, it will take 24 hours to dry just by putting this. But if you mix this in with a little mineral spirit to make a wiping poly, this will dry in about an hour because really the mineral spirits evaporate very quickly, and which causes a nice drying effect. All right, and now you're ready to put your finish on. You could put it with the brush on, but I just put a rag on it because they'll just absorb more. You can wear gloves, but I don't have to wear them because I like to feel the material. And you can see it really dries very quickly inside too, once you put it on. Alright, so apply a coat to every surface inside first. So you really do the inside. Let it soak in. Once you do that, then you get to the bottom. Do the bottom first after that. Now, like I said, this thing dries very quickly because of the mineral spirits. Again, this is a clear coat which will protect your wood from humidity, moisture, and any abrasions, which will give you a nice hard finish. Now, usually the first coat will absorb all the moisture. The second and third coat will probably give you a top coat. That's why you need at least 3 coats. And this will make a nice hard finish. And then get a dry rag and wipe it all down. And there you go with 1 coat. Now let it dry for about an hour and then come back and they'll put a second coat. Alright, after about an hour we could then start to put a second coat on our project. If it's a little rough you could sand it with the 220, but it is pretty smooth. So before we put the second coat, so now we're just going to apply the second wipe on poly. All right, this is our second coat, and looking at it, it looks well done. And I think we're just going to put 2 coats on it and let it dry overnight. And tomorrow we will put wax on it and put a finish and call it a day with this project. So just let that dry overnight, and we can then put a nice clear coat of wax tomorrow after it's sealed and hardened. Make sure you wipe it down nice and dry. Make sure there's no drips. And of course, make sure you throw all your rags away. So these things are flammable. So make sure you put that away, and make sure you close all your containers overnight and put them in a nice sealed place where they do not get or become flammable. And with that said, we'll just leave that for tonight. Hello everybody, today we are going to finish our project. After you've let it dry for about a day, and we put 2 coats of wiping poly on this, we are now going to put a final finish, which will be our paste wax. And this will make it very smooth, and it will also give it a little more protection. But the first thing you need to do is, sometimes when you get a piece of wood like this and it's all sealed and everything, you have a lot of dust in the air, and a lot of dust particles will fall on it. So we need to sand very lightly, and this way we can remove that little fine dust from it prior to putting our paste wax. And you should also do this in between coats so that you will remove all the particles from the air. Now you could either use a 220 grit, which will be sufficient, or you can go even finer, which is the 400 paper, and this is the wet dry paper. This in fact is a 600, but you can just sand it very lightly and it'll just remove it and it'll take it off. So we're going to start with a 220 and just sand very, very lightly. You want to go through all the areas that you need to remove all the dust from. It doesn't take that long. Some areas you don't need to do too much. It's pretty smooth. Because usually the wipe on poly doesn't attract too much dust. Alright, now I'll go over a little bit with the 600 just to make it a little smoother. So if you don't have a 600, you can go with a 400. And now you're ready to wax it. To wax it, we use a Johnson's Paste Wax, which is also like a Canobra wax, which is quite nice. Has a lot of oils in it. And what you need to do is just, like you wax a car, just rub it on and just wipe it off. Now we did use a wiping polyurethane, which gave us a clear coat. So this is just gives us the natural color of the wood. But you could stain this if you wanted to a different color. If you don't like the white pine, I happen to like the beauty of the wood itself. And you could then put wiping poly after that. So it'll be a 2-step instead of a 1-step here. But we just want to get this thing finished to show you how it works. So you can add wax to all the surfaces. Take your time. And then you just buff it. Now we use a satin polyurethane, which means that it's not going to give us a high gloss, and that is what we would like. And now the thing feels very, very smooth. The project is completed. Make sure you throw away the rags when you're finished, because it is flammable. And when you are finished, here is your completed project, which is your tool tray inside out. Let me just bring it a little closer. And this is how you make your tool tray. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson today, and above all, just try it on your own and have fun. Take care.